Welcome, everybody. John Zegar, johnzegar.com. How's everybody doing? Good? Good. So, good morning. I've been up for a while working here. I just got a couple burritos and a cup of coffee here for breakfast. I ate one burrito and I'm going to probably munch on the second burrito and sip on the coffee while I'm doing this podcast. I already did one live video on Facebook, and it was about the topic I'm kind of obsessing about today: homelessness or prison. So that's kind of the choices you have. They're identical. They're the same. And let me see if I can explain it to you a little bit better. Because I think it's really important to comprehend what this podcast and the video I just did on Facebook are saying. And I'll reiterate just a little bit of it, but I'll do it in a different version. I've met a lot of homeless people in my goings-on. Working in psychology, clinical psychology and neuroscience for 55 years plus, you run into all walks of life, and I've definitely walked into a lot of people that are just regular people out there working and trying to get by and actually not getting by, which isn't entirely their fault, right? But here's what I found. This is just research, and my research, which is absolutely accurate. And I've talked about this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago or so, about how people in lack, poor people, poverty, homelessness, unemployed, have a poor self-image. And they allow themselves in relationships that are abusive of one kind or another. Hear me out on this. You can be physically abused, which a lot of the people I talk to were and are. You can be emotionally abused, which a lot of the people I talk to were and are. Or, get this one, you can abuse yourself. I'm going to hang on to the ratty ass clothes that I have, living on a blanket, maybe an old beat up sleeping bag I got from the Goodwill for $4 down by the railroad tracks, possibly with an old ratty tent or nothing at all. That's called self-abuse. You don't think of yourself any better than that. It's no different than some guy slapping you. It's no different than him throwing you against the wall. It's no different than a woman ostracizing and castrating, so to speak, a guy verbally. It's no different than you down there by the railroad tracks barely surviving saying I have to keep this at all costs. I can't get rid of it. I don't dare take a chance to lose what I've got. I'd rather be in a relationship that was horribly abusive, or maybe you're still living with the guy or gal somewhere out on the streets, right? And it's abusive. I mean, the guy is in prison, for instance. Well, for you in your mind and how your reality works, you're not giving that up. I interviewed women, different ones, different times, and they might be saying, I'm in a relationship with a guy that I love that's in prison. What? I'm in a relationship with a guy that's in prison, has been for a long time, will be there for a while longer. Right? I'm in a relationship with a guy, and we have an old beat up car, and we live in the car. And we don't even have money to go to wherever and grab a shower, clean up. I don't know, I guess there's health clubs that'll let you go in there for a couple bucks or something. I'm not sure about that, but that's what she says. I can't imagine giving up that relationship with that guy. I love him so much. Wonder how that works. Pretty ugly, huh? Not real attractive. There's guys, likewise, that are being abused by women. Maybe physically. I don't know. I guess that's certainly possible and probably happens every day in America. Women physically abusing men. And the men not willing to give that up. There's women that are verbally, and this is probably more often than not, verbally abusing their boyfriends or husbands. I don't know. I don't even know if we should count those marriages that are this far off kilter. There's a lot of unhealthy relationships going on in America every day that are abusive of one kind or another, both male and female. And as a result, you see a lot of it in the homelessness population. You see a lot of it there. And it sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, now, I understand, it's a sickness, it's a disease. It's a mental health sickness, it's a mental health disease when you won't give up abuse. Battered lives, battered wives syndrome. It can happen to males and females, both ways. It goes both ways. You don't have to be married, you just have to be in in a relationship that's pretty unhealthy, right? So this goes on all the time. Here's the sad part. You guys got that picture, right? I don't need to keep going on with being more descriptive. Okay. So this goes on all the time. We know that. You know that. And the system, remember this past couple of weeks, I'm talking about the unhealthiness of the system. The system is as corrupt, unhealthy, abusive, as the lives these people are living in their relationships. The system will put you on a list to get housing. The population of the homeless is so high, I don't even think they break the barrier with 1 or 2% of the people actually find housing, which is usually something in the form of a dormitory of drug abusers, alcoholics, homeless men or women that can't survive on their own. So you might get 1% of that population in those kinds of facilities. So the system really didn't work, did it? There's a lot of money being spent every day in America, and how much of it is going towards homelessness. They offer services like, what do they call it, food stamps or something like that. Some people, small percentage, maybe 1%, maybe 2%, I don't know, get food stamps where they can go to the food bank and get food, or if they're lucky enough, go to the grocery store and get food, of which most of it they can't use anyway because they don't live anywhere to cook. They don't have electricity to have a cheap $10 microwave to throw something in. They don't have a stove. They don't have a refrigerator. They can't get food that'll spoil. They can go to the deli department in a grocery store and get a sandwich. And eat a sandwich today and a sandwich tomorrow and a sandwich the next day. They can go down the aisle and they can get those packets of tuna. Now instead of a can, you can get a packet of tuna for, I think Walmart has them for 92 or 94 cents, one of those two. And you can eat tuna, a pack of tuna today and a pack of tuna tomorrow and a pack of tuna the next day and the next day and the next day. There isn't a whole lot the system offers you. What else does the system offer you? This is kind of funny. This is sidebar, you guys. I'm just taking a quick break here. So there's 2 Canada geese running down the sidewalk here, chasing they have 2 little baby gooselings that ran away. They ran away, and they're going right by me right now. The little baby gooselings are running away, and the Canada geese are trying to catch them. Anyway, sorry about that. Just I thought that was pretty interesting and amusing. But I don't know. Maybe they're just teaching them how to run, for all I know. So how else does the system help you? They're not going to give you money. Do they give you money? I don't think you go to social services and ask for money and they give you money. I don't think that happens. They have people that work in offices filling out or giving out applications for you to fill out to get food stamps or sign up for getting on a list for this, that, or the other thing. But I don't see, and if you guys do, just, comment down below or something that, yeah, no, they have that. But be specific about it. Don't just say, you don't know what you're talking about, John. I'm just telling you facts of what I've seen based on doing this for such a long time. So I don't see the system trying to help the homeless. There's crime and violence in homelessness. People get beat up all the time. That's just part of the deal. People get stabbed. Not so much in the cities like where I live, people don't get shot, but in the bigger cities they do. They get robbed and stabbed and shot. It's pretty violent. There's nastiness that goes on with the homelessness. Some of the women, I'm not saying all by any means, but some of them make money based on prostitution. That's not having a very positive outlook towards yourself. Does that make sense? You're not very loving to yourself if you're allowing yourself to be sexually abused. In return for what might be money, a buck or two, I mean, it's disgusting. For the guys, it's just as bad, but I don't know, I think it's called homosexuality. Guys start doing abusive things to one another sexually. I guess girls do too, but it's not scrutinized as bad as men on men. Homelessness is not a pretty picture. Medical treatment. Medical treatment is hard to come by. There's a thing called Medicaid. Yeah, Medicaid is for people with no money. And then you have to find a doctor, I guess a dentist. I don't know if there's very many of those, but you have to find a doctor that takes Medicaid. So their physical well-being is not high on the list. Their emotional well-being, mental health, there seems to be a lot of mental health people that are just starting off in careers, and they're trying to present themselves as knowledgeable and they can be of benefit to the homelessness. Well, I've been around 55 plus years, and I guess they're better than nothing, but they're basically nothing. So you got the picture of the homelessness and the abuse that goes on, and the lack of services available, and the service providers that are uneducated and poorly trained, and probably in some cases could do more harm than good. Okay, so switch over now with me. This is where we're going, is prisons and jails. Right? You might as well be homeless, because what's available in the prisons, and again, I'm just speaking from real life. I mean, I've worked long term in state prisons, and people die there. People get stabbed there every day, sometimes hourly. People have abusive sexual, perverted, whatever, male on male and women on women all the time. There's intimidation, there's bullying, there's gangs, there's drugs, there's violence. It's a wild, uncontrolled environment, just like the homeless go through out here. The system, which I've talked pretty extensively over the past couple weeks, the system is corrupt. The jailers will look the other way if it allows somebody to get their just due. A stabbing, a killing, beating somebody who's not a member of, I don't know, your gang or gang violence, or you took their toast in the morning off of their tray, or it's this is called common sense psychology or neuroscience. For any unjustified reason, out here or in there, your life is a waste, and you probably will be violated, stabbed, shot, killed, or feel the only security you have is being somebody's bitch in an abusive relationship. So what I'm saying is that homeless people out here get no to little to no help from the system, because the system is corrupt. That's a fact. That's not made up. That's a fact. Having worked in the system, I can tell you that's a truth. Out here, there really is no optimistic view you might have of your life and yourself. Being in jail or in prison is identical. There's no place to go. There's no place to grow. There's no protection. I don't know what you call those people, jailers or something, whether they're in prison or a jail, I don't know. You know, they're morons. They have preconceived outcomes, and they will turn their head in order for you to be beat up or stabbed or killed. They're not there to serve and protect. They're not out here to serve and protect. It doesn't work that way. It's corrupt. It's corrupt in there, inside. It's corrupt out here. You got that? So, the question I leave everybody with this morning, and you're a highly educated group of people listening to this podcast, I just want comments. I don't want negative comments about, your anger or your discontent or the world is just so pretty and, just go hug a tree. And I don't want any of that crap. I don't want to waste my time even trying to read the first sentence or two that is going down that road. If you have something productive to share, put it in the comments. I'm looking, we're all looking for services that can help the homeless. Services that can help and be productive for the people that are inmates throughout America. Jail doesn't have to be, or prison, where you sleep 15 hours of the day, 18 hours of the day, and you have no program. They don't have programs. They don't have programs. What if we approached homeless people as people of value? And in turn, found ways or offered ways to feel better about yourself and make better decisions. I've been saying this for 2 days, but I offer a class in critical thinking. Critical thinking has to do with all the negative things you come up with to end up in the predicaments you have because there's nothing else available. Critical thinking has to do with maybe I'm an important person. Maybe I have some value. Maybe I count. Maybe I can be of some value to myself, to my community, find a career, find a direction. Here's the last thought. And again, this is pretty important stuff to listen to. Go back and listen to it and jump up and down and be mad if you want to, but I'm more concerned with what can you do to offer us a solution. I'm looking for people that have solutions. Let me make two comments. One, Elon Musk is a guy that understands what I just spoke about. He understands both sides of the fence. I don't know his history, and it's none of my business, but his purpose in life is to be of service. He has come up with more ideas for the good of mankind than anybody I've encountered in many years. 55 years of being in a profession, helping profession. That's what he does. That's what he does. Everything is centered around what's going to be for the greater good of mankind, humanity. I'm looking for those people with those kinds of comments that they're willing to share about ideas and thoughts they have to improve mankind and humanity. It's not about having some jackass standing inside of Cole's window calling the police and saying there's a guy in a pickup truck in the parking lot who's talking and there's nobody in the truck with him. And I think he's been stalking me for days, and now he's in my parking lot. Can you come and arrest him and put him in jail? Something needs to change, you guys. Something needs to change. You're going to, if you have not gotten it yet, you are going to get a wake-up call. You can change now when things are okay, and try to do the best you can for mankind. Or you can wait until you get a wake-up call from a greater intelligence out there. God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.